When it comes to improving performance, there are things that we know are going to benefit, things like creatine. Supplementing that every day has been well studied. There are other things as well, like eating a good quota of fruit and vegetables, having a good fiber intake. These are things we know that are going to benefit performance and recovery. Then we have things like protein powders that come in all kinds of shapes and sizes that you can mix and drink to hit protein quotas. But what if there was something that didn't have that much research, that wasn't that well established, that could help us with not just performance, but also recovery? Well, those things are called peptides.
Peptides.
Peptide.
The last 12 months have been very big for me when it comes to optimization. If there's anything that I can do to improve my performance, I'm going to do it. No, but for instance, I've been very regimented with creatine, been very regimented with whey protein. I changed the way I was filtering my water. Got some fancy one from America where you can actually test the quality of the water. These may seem like trivial things, but to me, I thought if I can make all these changes in my life, they can add up. Even trying not to use plastic water bottles anymore. Even just getting some electrolytes then. Anything that I can take that's gonna give me marginal gains in different areas of my life, I'm gonna do it. Which brings me on to something that I've been doing over the last 6 to 12 months. Peptides. These all should have gone in little bins, but I wanted to give you guys a visual representation of just how many injections I've had to have done. Now, it's worth noting that these are called subcutaneous. They're very small and you inject them subcutaneously, which means going into your belly fat. So what have I been taking? So I'm gonna run you through some of the peptides that I've been using. So about 2.5 months ago, I tore my MCL in jiu-jitsu. Someone had me in a single leg. I turned to pull my knee out. He pulled my foot up at the same time. And that internal rotation on my knee. So the very day I got injured, I ordered BPC-157.
BPC-157. Turns out that there's a gastric peptide that we all make that can promote healing of tissues. There's not a lot of data on this. Like I had an L5 compression and I was always like in pain standing up. 2 injections of BPC-157. Look, if it was placebo, okay, I'll take it. Gone.
And I had a tendonitis in my elbow that I just could not fix.
Yeah.
I started using BPC-157. It was gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now this is a peptide that's going to help you with healing and recovering from injuries. Now it's worth noting, I can't give you hard evidence and data to support this. This is anecdotal. And there is going to be an impact of the placebo when I was taking it. If you're going to take something that you think is going to help you repair, it's obviously going to impact how you feel about the repair. Then when this one ran out, as I ordered this one and had a lull in between, there was a nocebo. Because I knew I wasn't taking something before bed, it made me feel like the injury was worsening. So I can't give you any data or research to actually say that these work. But it made me feel a lot better about my recovery, made me feel like I could get back to training a lot sooner. It gave me a lot of confidence. I'll be honest, when I took this first one, it was because I've got elbow tendonitis. And I just took a peptide and hoped this would go away. It wasn't the case. There's obviously some rehab and strengthening and stuff I need to do to get rid of that. You can't just inject this as a miracle and hope it'll go away. Thiamycin B4, this is one that you take alongside BPC-157. Again, I took that with the elbow injury, didn't really notice any difference. The injuries were very different. With the actual torn MCL, I felt like these two had a big impact. Okay, now we get on to the interesting ones. There's 2 peptides that you can take together, CJC-1295 and Ipamorelin. Now, these 2 are called growth hormone secretagogues. Rather than taking growth hormone exogenously, you can take things to help your endogenous production. So in essence, this signals to your body with amino acids, that's what peptides are, to get you to produce more growth hormone. People like Andrew Huberman are big proponents of these. The thing I like about these is you take this just before you go to bed and you get a little bit of a hot flush, but it feels kind of nice. It's like, feels good. But there was an interesting side effect with this, and that was that you can't eat 2 hours before bed. So that I believe your insulin is low with the administration of CJC Ipamorelin. So I lost weight, but it wasn't the peptide, it was the fact that I couldn't eat between 7 and 9 p.m. because I get into bed about 9 p.m. So therefore I saw a drastic reduction in calorie intake because I wasn't eating in those 2 hours before bed, which is typically where I tuck into things like chocolate or low calorie ice cream or whatever. With these, I wouldn't say that I noticed mad muscle growth or mad recovery, but I would say there was a notable increase in training morale. Probably again has something to do with the fact that I knew I was taking something that would help me with my performance and recovery. Something that would help me produce more growth hormone. Now the one vial we don't have at home that's actually at the gym because we've used it for another video was one of the peptides which is probably the most controversial of all, which was semaglutide, also known as Ozempic or Wegovy. And my experience with that was that I had to stop taking it after 2 weeks. 4.9 kilograms I've lost in 9 days because of this. I was supposed to take this for a month, but I had to stop after 2 weeks because I lost too much weight. Think of it this way. If you had sepsis in your leg, we cut off the leg to save the body. If you've got cancer, you undergo chemotherapy so that we can keep you alive. There are medical interventions that on the whole aren't good for people, but they can save lives. So when we look at semaglutide, we need to think of it within that context. Administering something once a week that can massively reduce your appetite and stop you from overeating, if you're a PT looking to get shredded for a holiday to Ibiza, probably not a good idea, because if you've got a thyroid issue or pancreatic issue with that, it'd be very difficult to look back and go, yeah, it was worth it. However, I've got clients who are 26, 27 stone, and I think that that point in their life, we need some kind of medical intervention where that even if they were to, have any of the complications which do occur with it, they could look back and say, yeah, it was a case of trying to save my life more so than it was anything else. Peptides are a very interesting place. I'm not condoning these or recommending that people put these as part of their regimes, but I am saying that there is a place that you can go to if you're someone that's curious about these things to maybe see if you get the benefits from it. Maybe if you're someone a little bit older and you don't want to look at testosterone or hormone replacement therapy, Ipamorelin and CJC could be a good start. If you're someone who is very overweight and it's impeding your health and quality of life, semaglutide might be something you want to look into. And if you're injured, you're a professional athlete and you're someone that would do anything to return to the mats or to the gym or to your place of sport quicker, BPC-157 and TB500 are something to consider. Am I saying that all of these are effective and that they work really well? I can't say that because I don't have a control or evidence to compare them against. But if you are someone that's curious about these, I have been using them. If I get injured again, I will take BPC-157. Will I be going back on CJC-Ipamorelin? Probably not. But I have a feeling that over the next few months and years, peptides are going to be introduced as more of a way that people can look to bridge the gap between supplementation as performance enhancers like creatine, hormone replacement therapy. There could be an interesting middle ground where peptides are the place that people go to. There are clinics online that you can work with and doctors that can help prescribe these to you. And I think it's definitely an interesting thing that people should consider if they're interested in that. And if you're not, then don't.